Yeah, I mean, going forward, every game is a must-win if we want to get in the playoffs. We got to control what we can control, and if we go out and win all the games that we're capable of winning, we control our destiny. I feel like we're a good enough team to make the playoffs, but it doesn't matter if we don't win this week. So we're going to focus game to game. We got 4 left. We're going to go out this week and take care of business, have a great week of practice, and be ready to go. They're a really good defense, really good team, well coached, play hard. We're going to have our work cut out for us this week.
Joe Burrow, understanding what the Bengals are up against, they're actually underdogs at Denver this weekend, lost 2 in a row, and they need to turn it around or they are not going to make it to the postseason. It's time for today's Speed Round, brought to you by Verizon, the official 5G network of the National Football League. And let's start there, Myles. Both the Bengals and the Broncos, 7-6. I'm stunned that the Broncos are 7-6. And this is really their latest best opportunity to get all of us to take them seriously as a potential playoff team. And this is the ultimate swing. We're going to come out of this game either believing what we've believed all along, the Bengals are the playoff contender and the Broncos aren't, or we're going to completely turn it around. It's like, Bengals, see you later. We're on the Broncos bus now.
Well, the thing about this, and one of the things that Joe Burrow also said this week, is that Denver's secondary is probably the best one that they've faced all year. Joe Burrow is actually tied for the league lead with 14 interceptions, okay, as he's tied with Trevor Lawrence with that mark. So if Pat Surtain II is one of those guys that's going to be out there and somebody that they obviously have to identify where he is on every single play. Surtain makes a really good play, a game-changing play, then yeah, that's something that can really swing momentum and everything else in Denver's favor. They've got to take care of the football if you're Cincinnati and then go up there and win. But honestly, if Cincinnati wins this game, then they may start having an inside track on winning the division in the AFC North, because they've already beaten Baltimore and they've got them one more time, I believe, throughout these last few games of the season. So there could be a changing of the guard there in the AFC North. And I believe in Joe Burrow. I think he's great. So we'll see what happens.
They had their chance last week against the 49ers to forge a tie with the Ravens, and they failed. And, I'm going to be fascinated by, and Sims talked about this yesterday, the Pat Surtain, Jamar Chase matchup. Will they go one-on-one? Will there be help? Chase has faced extra attention, and I think that has been one of the reasons why we've seen the drops kind of come back into his game. He's not as involved as he was before they started doubling him. And if you don't double him, if Surtain can cover him one-on-one, then it's harder to run the rest of the offense. Look, I think the Bengals will win this game, but I won't be surprised if we're talking next week about how the Broncos shocked the world and moved to 8-6 and thrust themselves into the wild card mix. Patriots 9-4 at the Colts 7-6, a great Saturday night game. Patriots are holding on to the top seed in the AFC, looking for win number 8 in a row. The Colts are 2.5-point favorites, though, and the Colts are regarded as one of those teams. Look, they get in, they're going to be a problem. How big of a problem do you think they'll be for the Patriots on Saturday night?
I think there'll be a big problem, but I think that the Patriots can still come out there and win. Listen, it's all about Jonathan Taylor. Is Jonathan Taylor going to be the guy that gets over 100 yards? Because when he's had over 100 yards this year, they win. When he has under 100 yards this year, they lose. It's kind of that simple. If they can run the football, then that's the way that the Colts want to play, and that's the way the Colts can win. But if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm saying there's no way in the world that I'm going to let Jonathan Taylor beat me. It's kind of the same thing that the Buccaneers did a few weeks back. They were like, no, it's going to be Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz beats us, then so be it. But I'm not going to let one of the best running backs in the game ruin my day, because I know how things work. Like, if he gets going, and then he's running all over the place. You can't let that happen if you're New England.
I wonder if Frank Reich will try to embrace that and turn it into a shootout. There was a pretty significant shootout at one point a few years back in Minnesota where Bill Belichick coached the Patriots and Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, and it worked out for Philadelphia that day, and it worked out for Reich. That's what got him the Colts job when Josh McDaniels reneged on his verbal agreement to take over as the head coach in Indianapolis. But that is a fascinating game. That is a great gift, an early Christmas gift, Saturday night, Patriots-Colts. Browns-Raiders, not going to be what we thought it was going to be. But But forget about the COVID stuff. Enjoy Patriots, Colts. Just put it, hey, you watched Lions, Bears to start Thanksgiving. Browns, Raiders isn't going to be any worse than that, even with all the COVID stuff. So should be a great Saturday. Washington versus the Eagles. Speaking of Nick Mullins, guy who once threw to a wide-open Eagle when he was playing for the 49ers. That was the only problem. The guy from the Eagles was wide open. Mullins was just playing for the 49ers at the time. Right. Washington at the Eagles. Washington has 18 guys on COVID reserve. The Eagles, 6-7. Washington, 6-7. Jalen Hurts in danger of missing another start with a high ankle sprain. Gardner Minshew, and I think of what you said the other night about the video of Gardner Minshew and his dad smelling like cigarettes.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be smelling cigarettes again.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, look, Jalen Hurts is limited in practice Wednesday, Thursday, and anytime you're talking about a high ankle sprain for a quarterback, and especially a quarterback who's got to use his legs like Jalen Hurts does, I think I would rather have a 100% Gardner Minshew than, let's call it 75 to 85% Jalen Hurts, if that's the case. I mean, Gardner Minshew can go out there, he can run the offense, and then, we'll see what happens. But this is a big game for both of these teams. I mean, Washington right now is still in position for the playoffs, but, the Eagles, they get to 7-7, and you make Washington 6-8, then you're going to have one of these inside tracks to probably that last playoff position in the NFC. So we'll see what happens, but I do expect it to be Minshew at this point.
One more real quickly. The Titans going to Pittsburgh this weekend. I'm going out of order because I want to mention this one. Because I already picked the Steelers to win. This is one of those, and I did not listen to my instincts 2 weeks ago when the Ravens were coming to town. I didn't have the guts to pick the Steelers to win, even though I felt deep down they would. 50 years in and around and living within the shadows of Pittsburgh, this is a game the Steelers win. This is a game the Steelers need. They're getting closer to the end of the Ben Roethlisberger tenure, and I just feel like that tie that they had against the Lions, that is destined to be a factor. In the dust settles and all these tiebreakers, you don't need to worry about the tiebreakers when one of the teams has a tie. And I think that I just have a weird feeling it's going to come down to Week 18. The Steelers, if they beat the Ravens in Baltimore, are going to sneak in by virtue of having that tie. And I think the process continues with a win over the Titans on Sunday.
Yeah, I think this is one of those program wins, right? The Steelers have a football program. It's not just a team. They know what their identity is, and this is one of those games that, it's going to be two heavyweights going at it. Both of these teams are physical. They like running the ball. They like playing good defense. We'll see who's there for Pittsburgh and who they get back from injury, but I just feel like this is one of those games that they know they need to have it at home, and they're going to be able to do it. I mean, they're going to start waving those stupid towels in the fourth quarter, playing renegade. Crowd's going to get real fired up, and you may induce Ryan Tannehill to throw an interception. Like that, it feels like that kind of game to me.
Let's go ahead and take a break. Show me something draft for Week 15. We'll do that when PFT Live continues right after this.
Pro Football Talk is brought to you by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.